chapter for this afternoon. Our next speaker will be discussing everything about automation using PowerShell. Ako, partner, parang super interesting to, yung topic na to niya. Simulan mo na, ipakilala ang ang first workshop speaker for today.
Sige, partner, the pleasure is all mine. Atcha is a computer science graduate, magna cum laude, content creator, seasoned public speaker, and mentor. Former application analyst and social media specialist, she is currently the technical community manager of education.ph and technical support agent of PAR Technology Incorporated. She is also an Angel Hack ambassador and mentor of Impact Hackathon. She shares her knowledge with various universities and tech companies about the fundamentals of web development, web design, information security, database systems, and automation. She aspires to be a computer science professor and cybersecurity analyst. Everyone, let us give it up for our workshop instructor, Miss Athena Atcha Abe.
Hi everyone, Miss Andre and Ray for that introduction. Here, but I would just like to say that I had a lot of insights from his talk. I know it may have been, he gave a lot of information and he mentioned na hindi nyo kailangan maalala lahat, pero the important thing with his talk is that networking is definitely a challenging topic to learn about, and the hard skills, natututunan natin yan. But the important thing in your 3 days of workshop and webinars and with your competition as well is for you to fully understand how everything works, software and hardware. You don't need to be really technical savvy about it because you need to fully grasp everything, that how IoT and everything, how these devices and how these technologies work together and how they interconnect with each other. So in today's session, I would I encourage you to join as well while we're doing this, especially that this is a workshop. So I expect we have here 73 people. So I expect at least more than half to do this workshop with me. Today, we will be learning automation using PowerShell. And I was informed by the organizers of this event that this is your first time learning about PowerShell. So don't worry, I won't go very technical into this. I will just give you the fundamentals, and I will also let your creativity and interest, especially your thirst for knowledge, out on how you will use PowerShell, especially in automation. So yeah, I was already introduced. So the last time that I did a talk with you guys about introduction to front-end frameworks, I was still a student. So I just graduated college this year. And with networking, I've done some research during college. Napaka interesting talaga ng 5G networks, as what shown by Sir Anna din a while ago, and that kept me interested in learning and researching more about networks. And at this point, I'm still continuing to share the knowledge about technology, and I am applying the networking knowledge that I learned in my work. So aside from working as a technical community manager, I'm also working as a technical support agent, which in my role, I'm able to apply networking more. So I work for a restaurant technology company based in New York, and I am helping our customers and also people within that technology utilize and also apply networking, help troubleshoot things. So that's what I'm currently doing. And yeah, that helped me upskill more, especially with PowerShell. So from time to time, gumagamit din ako ng PowerShell sa work. So our scope for today is to learn about just a brief introduction what automation really is. I know based on the questions that you asked our speaker a while ago, the concern is if there are opportunities in networking, in automation with it replaces. So I'll answer them later on. And then we'll definitely learn more about PowerShell. There's two PowerShell applications, and I'll explain what's the difference of each. I will be sharing with you the fundamentals, and we'll be doing some little network automation at the last part. All right, and with every presentation that I do, I give questions. So later I'll give a question, and later in this workshop as well, I will be giving you challenges and paunahan to. So the first one will get a prize from me. So isasend ko via GCash. So as what was described in your 3-day session, this automation workshop is to address the process of automation using configuration, management, testing, deployment, and operation of physical and virtual devices inside the network. What I did in this workshop is for us to further understand how we're going to use PowerShell as a tool to be able to configure these processes. So we're going to learn and review our basic programming skills, which is how to declare variables using PowerShell, how to get that information, how to read the file using PowerShell, because those are the basic skills that you need that you can also apply in any type of networking scenario. Okay, so to begin with, I'd just like to know what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word automation. So with every presentation that I did, if walang nakakapag-respond within a few seconds, I believe we're also in Facebook Live. Yeah, so we're 73 here. So while I'm waiting for a response, I also call people to give their answers. So habang wala pa akong pinipili, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word automation? Yes. Nag-raise lang hand si Ray. Go lang. Pwede ba kayo mag-unmute? Just go ahead. Sabi ni, yes.
For me po, when I hear automation po, naisip ko po is it makes yung mga task po na paulit-ulit easier. Like parang one click lang, then magagawa na yung mga task na yun, like series of tasks na yun. So magiging efficient yun.
Yan. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for that answer. So let's check the answers here. Sabi ni Christian Dale, Silisana, pinapadali and pinapabilis niya pong everyday tasks natin. That is correct. So from Alex, when I hear automation, I immediately imagine artificial intelligence. Pwede. Ayan, sabi ni Lancelot, system operation. Yes, IoT. Sabi ni Jervan. Sabi ni Jenny, capital letter speed. Ayan. And sabi ni Arzel, bots po. Robots. Okay. Efficient, automatic operation, optimization of business processes, increase efficiency of repetitive tasks through logic. Anybody else? And hope we can hear from other people as well. Aside from those answers, AIs, machine learning. Oh, nagsagot ka na, Lancelot. Tama ba? Ayan. Let's hear from Mac OS. Ayan. Macros. Akala ko Mac OS. Ayan. Thank you. Automation Advanced Technology. Okay. Ayan. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your active participation and looking forward for the same thing all throughout our workshop today. So you're definitely right. How automation is, it's okay, Kyle. Aba, nag-multitask ka. That, but, that, SH, very good. Okay, so all of these answers are correct. And definitely automation is defined as something to create a process to be able to avoid doing mundane tasks. Meaning, ina-avoid natin gawin yung mga basic tasks na tinatawag natin in a repetitive cycle and focusing more on bigger things. That's the goal of automation. So to answer your concern, or if a thought that comes to your mind na, Atcha, possible ba na palitan tayo ng AI or automation in the future? No. All of these advancements and innovations in technology, especially with networking and automation, all of these tools, humans are still needed. Human intervention is still needed in order for these tools and processes to work. The only difference is it makes simple and other tasks more efficient, running in the background, while humans focus more on major or important things. So they work hand in hand. It's just that automation helps us focus more on more important things. So that's how it is defined. That's the goal. Although I totally understand tayo kasi we're so used to, for example, planning our tasks, creating a planner. We have a planner now digitally, pero we're still used to putting everything on paper, setting our reminders. We don't, some of us don't use Bixby, Google, Alexa, etc. So it's just still a work in progress for us to get used to these automation and these AI na on how you correlate them with one another. So yeah, what I'm showing on my screen right now is an example or an overview on how long it takes you to work on a specific task. And it shows the difference of how much time you're gonna save if you automate that task. So ayun siya. Okay, so that's an example. And today we're going to learn how these tasks can be automated using PowerShell and how it makes us more efficient to improve our scripts na tinatawag natin with PowerShell. And automation has been around for a lot of years. So before pa lang, may nagsabi nga na .bat is called batch files, and we have .vbs script, and we have .ps1, which is PowerShell. So matagal na talagang may automation. It's just that as I'm also basing my presentation with what Sir Anu has described, it's the people. So matagal lang nandyan mga innovations. It's just the time na up until this point, 2022, it's the people who needs to apply these things more. It's already existing. What we need to do is to understand it first, apply what we understand, and then improve what we know. So that's the goal of networking and also with automation as well. So as you can see, everything is just a notepad, and then nagkaroon na ng interface for a command tool, a command line tool. That's where PowerShell comes in. So from batch files, VBS script, then there comes PowerShell. So question, have you tried PowerShell before? Type N for no, type Y for yes. No. May nag-yes. No. Okay, may isa nag-yes. Alright. Isang beses lang. Emma lang. Very briefly. How about the others? How about Rosel? O, di ba nagtawag si Atcha? How about Trinity? How about Alex? Have you tried PowerShell before? Ayan, we are 70 here. Yes, para sa Gcash. Paano mo ginawa yun, Nordjan? That's interesting. You use PowerShell for Gcash. Sabi sa Google, lagi yung command sa PowerShell. So yes, it depends. There are times wherein you need to put long lines of code that might affect the process of running the script using PowerShell. Minsan ina-access now para sa Gcash. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, guys. And yes, don't Python on PowerShell. That's good. So you don't have to worry. We won't go very technical today. I'm just going to give you an overview how you can use PowerShell and how network and automation is related to it. Ayan. That's good to know, guys. So here. So PowerShell, again, this is a Microsoft tool that is used to provide access to features on the operating system. So if you have tried the command prompt before, the command line, the only difference with PowerShell. So with command line kasi, you put a line to it and it spits out a result. That ganun siya. And with PowerShell, it's something different na it does another type of process. And for example, especially with networking, when you need to pull out logs, get more information from the system, process something on the system. For example, kapag command line, ang pwede natin gawin doon is to get your IP address, di ba? Usually, yun yung ginagawa natin. Check natin yung IP address natin, kung tama ba, ganyan-ganyan. And with PowerShell, with networking, this is mostly used, especially if you want to change your public network to a private network. Yun yung usually mga na-encounter namin. So, ayun yung simple and basic uses of PowerShell. Ayan. So, PowerShell is a very powerful tool. It has a lot of features, and how I would describe it, it's similar to Visual Studio Code. I believe you're familiar with that code editor, text editor, para siyang Visual Studio Code. Kasi ang comparing it to there are two types of PowerShell. We have here the PowerShell, the command line interface. Kapag sinerch nyo, yun yung lilitaw. And we also have the PowerShell ISC, also known as Integrated Scripting Environment, which ang pinagkaiba lang nito is the user interface. And I'll give you a brief description and comparison of each. So what's the difference? So the difference with these two applications, they have some limitations on each other. So by definition, PowerShell compared to PowerShell ISE PowerShell is more on command driven. Unlike PowerShell ISE, again, ISE stands for Integrated Scripting Environment, focuses more on the automation side. The way it is mainly used, and for it to be automated, is we also use other tools such as task scheduler. There are a lot of other Microsoft tools that you can integrate it with. Unlike PowerShell, you can see my taskbar, right? Let me know.
Yes, po.
Okay, thank you. Ayan. So diba ito, PowerShell. So makikita natin dito, ito yung usually lilitaw, Windows PowerShell, and meron tayong Windows ISE. When I open this one, ayan yung itsura niya. When I open Windows PowerShell ISE, this is what it looks like. It's just looks like a simple notepad, but it has your console below. This is what it looks like. This is the difference. Ayan. And let's see. I'll just do something real quick. Meron akong ginagamit na line since we're talking about network. Private network. See here. Ayan, okay. So usually when I use the regular PowerShell, ito lang yung ginagamit ko mostly is I put these commands here. Ayan, this is an example. Ayan, to get your network connection profile, usually yan yung mga as an end user, ito yung lagi natin ginagawa with command, identifying your IP address. And ayan, nakikita nyo na ngayon yung pangalan ng Wi-Fi na ginagamit ko, network category, public, ganyan-ganyan. If you're going to change it to private, this is how we usually do it. This just shows the information of the network, changing it to private. So hindi siya pwede kasi I'm just connecting via ano. To fix this, usually tinatanggal ko yung interface alias. So let's see here. Ayan, napalitan na siya. That's how you will be able to identify it. And then if you put it here, it now shows private. Okay. That's how quick and fast that you can change your network from public to private. I know for some of you, if you're mostly familiar with tinkering with your network, you just go to network and sharing settings. Usually yun yung ginagawa natin. But with PowerShell, that's how fast and easy it is and very quick to change your network from public to private. And if you want to put it back, you can just change it to, just copy this, paste it, public. It will run, and then after it runs, just get that information again, put the line here, and it will, hindi ko na edit, sorry. Oh, here, yan, public. Okay? That's how fast you can change your network using PowerShell. However, we're going to use this today, the PowerShell ISE. And as you can see with the compared to the regular PowerShell, makikita nyo marami tayong tools, command lines, and our console below it. So it gives you more option to create your own scripts instead of just copy and pasting the commands. So yeah. And yeah, aside from that, the console, as what I have shown you, the PowerShell is general. However, the PowerShell ISE is more user-friendly and it has a lot of icons and options and tools for you to use. When it comes to copy and pasting, as you can see, well, obviously, yun nakita yung how I type in the keyboard, but I don't know. This is my source here is Edukba, but it says here, but with PowerShell, for you to copy and paste, you need to press Alt space EP. Pero kanina naman, nagamit ko naman yung Control V. Pero I don't know if older versions, but ito yung comparison nila. And then with editing the file, sometimes it's difficult. I agree to this based on my experience as well. Especially if you have a long command and you want to edit, kumari may typo ka sa gitna, so it will be difficult and challenging for you to edit that in PowerShell. But with PowerShell ISC, you have a lot of options to edit that line. Ayan. Kasi bago mo siya i-run sa console, na-edit mo siya. And unlike pag dito mo nilagay yung, say for example, pwedeng, see, ay, may niran ako, wait. It's either kasi with ISE, you can either edit the script here or put the script on the console. But with regular PowerShell, you can't just, it will be challenging for you to edit. For example, nilagay ko yung command dito and gusto ko i-edit to, may typo, something like that. And then context sensitive. So with that type of feature, it's not available in PowerShell, but with ISE, say for example, it's context sensitive, ayan, it's suggestive. So nakita nyo kanina, para siyang VS Studio Code. Pag nilagay mo ganyan, it will give you suggestions, and when you wait for it to load, it will show you what it's for, and siya. There you go. So that's how I see PowerShell ISE. And then the size, when viewing the code compared to PowerShell, it's a single line. Unlike PowerShell ISE, it's resizable, and you can also do this, zoom in, zoom out, by holding down Control and scrolling up. Ayan. Next is commands. Ayan na, ito na yung part na you will work with me on this for our workshop. So go ahead on your taskbar or press the Windows key icon. If you're using Windows 11 like I do, ganito yung magiging itsura. But if you're using Windows 10, it would be on the left-hand side, lower left corner. Then go ahead and type in PowerShell. So again, makikita nyo dalawa siya. Merong best match and then merong apps. Go ahead and select Windows PowerShell ISE. Right-click on it and select Run as Administrator. Just go ahead and continue by selecting yes, and it will load your Windows PowerShell ISE. If you're seeing the same thing as I do here on the screen, on the right side, you will be seeing the different types of commands. So of course, I won't be going through all of them today. I'll be showing you how we're going to use our basic and simple commands with PowerShell. So go ahead. Do you have the same prompt here? Type R for ready para alam ko if I can proceed. Very good. Ayan, napaka-active naman pala ng ating mga students in today's workshop. That's good. Okay, so for our first step, go ahead on the very left side icon, click on new script. Ayan, makikita nyo, you can go ahead and close this one on the right. Ayan. So in here, let me just Ayan. Kuklose ko lang. Mga pinagagawa ko. Ano ba to? Ayan. So in here, so I can also see my presentation. Ayan. We're going to learn about how we're going to navigate the commands in PowerShell. If you're going to do comments and if you want to do notes today, go ahead and that would be the # key to create a comment, and then you can just put your commands. Ayan. So if you want to, if it's your very, very first time learning about PowerShell, and if you want to learn different information about it, you can go ahead and type get-help. Every command starts with an uppercase letter. So in this one, if you want to run everything, you press F5 or this green button. But if you just want to run a specific line of code, you will be selecting run selection or F8. So go ahead and do that. It's just loading, and then it will show you every information that you need when you run this script. Ayan, get help. And with get verb, let's see what get verb does. Ayan. Again, if you want to run a specific line of code, highlight that and select F8 or run selection. It will show you, see, the different verbs that you can use in PowerShell. And of course, with the commands, ayan, get command. And it will show you all of the commands that you can use. So another way, an easier way of, instead of doing the lines, you can go to help, and then you can select show command window or shortcut key control plus F1, and it will show you the commands. Sa akin, another tab siya. So these are the different types of commands that you can use. And the good thing about this is that it has a description. So say, for example, you want to get the net connection. So ito siya. Ito yung ginamit ko kanina. To change the network setting from public to private, get net connection profile. It will show you, if you want to see more details, it will show you this. Okay? And IPv4 connectivity, etc. The name of the network category, if is it set to public or private. Yun. Okay. So do you have the same results? Are you able to navigate through? Type R for ready. Ayan. Thank you. Minsan si Atcha mabilis para nag-rap. So let me know if I need to slow down so I can guide you. Nag-i-install pa. Oh, okay, sige. For other people, naka-install na siya, pero sa iba na hindi pa naka-install, also minsan magsasuggest yan na to update your PowerShell. Let's go ahead. Ayan, ready na yung iba. Very good. All right. Okay. Since most of you are ready na for our next part is declaring variables. So very familiar and common na to sa inyo. What we're just going to do today is for you to be able to how to apply your programming and networking skills using PowerShell. Yan. Ay, hindi ko siya nasa side by side kasi tatlo yung monitor ko. So hindi ko siya ma-split. Let's see. Sige, ito na lang gamitin natin. Ayan. And for example, if nagtitinkering ka or nagtitest ka sa console mo and naguguluhan ka na sa mga pinapakita niya dito, the way you can clear it is to click this one, clear console pane, and it will clear everything to refresh your console. Okay, so next is declaring variables. So I have a question. Using your favorite programming language, declare a variable. Ayan, ang mauna may price. Ayan, very good. Christian Dale, anong programming language yan? Intyay, sakit. Anong programming language yan? Si Dale. Python. Okay, very good. So, ayan, wait lang. Siguro help na lang ako ng organizers i-take yung names and numbers and I'll send the prize. Sensya, ito lang ako. Okay lang yan, Ray. Okay, very good. Okay, so now in PowerShell, how we did... Ayan. How we declare variables is by using a $sign and then putting the name of the variable. And then, what will happen if ganito nilagay ko? What type of variable is this? Very good. Napaka-active talaga ni Dale. Wala bang nakahabol dyan? Ayan. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Okay. So what will happen? Ano sa tingin niyo mangyayari pag ganito lang ginawa ko? Will it go through? Error, error, error. Okay, very good. So a good thing about this, para siyang Visual Studio Code na nakikita mo kung may error siya agad. And what happens kapag ganito ginawa ko? Will it still go through? Sige nga, tignan nga natin. May nagno-no, may nag-yes. So play natin. Ayan. It will go through. Walang error sa pag nilagay mo sa script line mo, pero command not found exception. Very good. Okay. And what if I put this? Will it go through? Yes, yes. Dahil, what type of variable type is this? Integer. Very good. Napakabilis talaga ni Dale. Ayan. So, again, run natin. So, ayan, nag-run siya name 17. Okay, very good. So, next, let's see. So, yeah, definitely the name is a string. So, if you're going to put a string, assign it in a variable, you should put double quotation marks on it. Ayan. And what PowerShell is doing now is just reading that declaration of the variable. So how we're going to identify the type of this variable, the variable name, is by putting name dot, ayan, makikita niyo siya kung anong klase. So get type, open and quotation, close and open parentheses. And then if you want everything to run, just go ahead and click run script. And it will show you the type of the name of the variable type, which is string, and the base type here, which is this variable is an object. Do you have the same results? Type Y for yes. Very good. Very good. Napaka-active, nakakatuwa naman. Ayan. Okay. See here. Next. Okay. So go ahead and try a number. So 17, dahil 17 ngayon. Ayan. And it will tell you that it's an integer. And the base type is a value type. Do you have the same results? Very good. Ayan. All right. Next. Okay. So, Atcha, with PowerShell, paano naman maglalagay ng array? Or paano mo ma-identify na array ang isang variable? So, unlike other programming languages, we usually declare the type muna. Diba? For example, Java, lalagyan natin ng square braces. But with the PowerShell, it's different. You can go ahead and say, for example, put name here. And then sabihin natin PowerShell, comma, November, comma, and a string of 17. And then when you run that code, it will consider it as an array of an object. Ayun. Do you have the same results? Yes, yes. Very, grabe talaga. Si Dale talaga nauna. Wala bang hahabol dyan? Ayan, very good. That's good to know. Okay. All right. See here, object. Okay, now showing you my presentation again. Okay, paunahan. Display the following base types in order, array, integer, and string. Etong part na to may prize. Nakalagay mo, i-enter na lang pindot. Ayan, ayan na. Kung wala pang nauna. So, i-demonstrate ko lang guys ulitin ko lang. I know for sure you're going to ask. So, let's see here. Ang bilis. Wait, tignan nga natin yan. Get type. So, ang dinidisplay mo lang, tignan natin kung gagana yan, Dela. Iba ito. Hindi ko nakakopy. I cannot copy it on Zoom, no? Hindi ko siya makopy. So, kung titignan natin yung nilagay ni Dale, may ayan, humabol. Okay. Sige, dahil hindi ko ma-paste yung output mo, Dale, go ahead and share your screen and show and run that output, please. Let's see if that's correct. So I'm looking for an array, an integer, and a string. Go ahead and run it. Array, integer, and string. Very good, Dale. Dahil dyan, would you like to keep your second prize or give it to other people? Give it to the next person. Give. Aba, napaka-generous naman ni Dale. Kanina mo i-give. Ayan. Kay Andre daw. Ayan. Congratulations, Andre. Dahil dyan, may prize ka. Ayan. Next, I'll share my screen again. See, screen 1. Diba? Okay, baka iba ma-share ko. Ayan. Share your blessings. Okay, next is getting your input. So, with Visual Studio tuloy, PowerShell, see here. Okay. With PowerShell, the way we're going to, di ba, ako ang very first programming language na natutunan ko is Java. Usually, di ba, nilalagay natin sa command line is to prompt something on that console to ask for a value from the user. How that is done in using PowerShell is for us to put read host. Ayan. So, ito yung maganda. Para talaga siyang Visual Studio Code. If you're going to wait, ayan no, it asks prompts for an object to get the parameter or the value. So, yun yung meaning niya. So, go ahead and put read host and then enter your name. Ayan. Then, go ahead and play and run it pala. Sorry. Ayan, it will show. And question. Buksan ko lang yung chat ko. Pag niran ko to and I will put my name, do you think it will display the output? No. Why? Paisip sila. Bakit kaya? Walang print. Asking for input, walang output statement. It already has the input, which is Atcha. Kasi hindi po naka-instruct na ipiprint. Sabi ni Jane, no print you. No output. Very good. That is correct. So, how we're going to get the input to display, nanginginig na ako, is to put write host. So, may read host na tayo. That is for getting the input. And to get the output, we put write host. Ayan. And to display that output, you can either go directly and put the variable there, or you can also put a label. Buti pa dito may label. Walang hugot yon. Ayan. Di ba nabubuhayan kayo pag humuhugot ako? So your name is $name. Ayan. Go ahead and run it. Let's see. It will ask. Ay. Tama naman. Wait lang. Ganito muna. This one first. Oh, stop the line. This one first. Tama. Toto. Naduduling na ako. Pinapakita niyo lang pala yung syntax. So, for example, bigay kayo ng name. Ray. Ayan, your name is Ray. Very good. Ayan, okay. Next, all right, here's the challenge. Paunahan, get user input of name and favorite programming language. 1, 2, 3, go. If you're going to read the instructions, it's asking for not for more than one user input. So how are you going to do that using what we learned today? Yan na, nagmamadali na. Sino kaya ang mauuna? Go, guys. May kulang. Ray. Malapit ka na. Read the instructions again. It's asking for 2 user inputs. Ayan, nauna si Yuan. Go ahead, Yuan. I'll stop my share screen. Share screen. Go ahead and share your screen and demonstrate to us your output, please. Iiyak na ako. Parang dilim dito. Ayan. Okay, go ahead. Yuan? Wait lang po, ma'am. Go lang. Take your time. Baka tinatago pa na yun. Ayan, paano mag-share screen na yan? Share screen yung green na button sa gitna. Katabi ng... I don't think nakikita nila yung record pero katabi ng chat. Ay, wala siyang access. Can someone give him access? Ayan, thank you. Go. Okay. Ayan. All right, go ahead and run it again. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nag-isip something. Your name is Yuan, your favorite. May kulang, Yuan. Your favorite ano? Ayan, still daw. Ayan. Okay, very good, you. Very good, Yuan. Thank you. Dahil dyan may prize ka. Ayan. So, si Dale, si Andre ba? Tsaka si Yuan. Ayan. Organizers just help me later. Very good. Ayan. I'll share my screen again. Napaka-active and napaka-bilis. Ayan. Okay. Next is to get the input. All right. Ito naman, this part is we're going to get the input from a file, from a text file, okay? So how we're going to do that is go ahead and open your notepad, just a regular notepad, okay? File handling, yes. Okay, so with file handling, you can just go ahead. So this one, consider this a scenario with your IP addresses. We're going to relate this to networking again. So say for example, meron kang 6 na computer and you're going to get that network information on that 6 computers, okay? Okay, so go ahead and put PC1 and just put some random numbers. PC5. Ibahin nyo para hindi tayo parehas ng output so you can guarantee that you're getting the same results. And PC2. So 8185472, go ahead and save that. You're going to save it on your local disk. Ayan. And then, lagay natin dito sa output. Ay, hindi. Lagay natin dito na lang sa disk natin. Then you're going to name this as computers. Ay, ba't sa documents? Wait lang. Ilagay niyo sa documents. It should be on your drive kasi doon natin siya kukunin. There you go. Okay. Ayan. Computers here. Okay. So once that is already saved, see, we're going to get that content of the file. Okay. So how we're going to do that is go ahead and clear this one. Clear your console. Go ahead and type in, we're going to declare a variable called computers, get dash content, and then dash path, and then drive C, backward slash, ayan, computers.txt, ayan, get content. And for you to be able to display what's inside that file, go ahead and put in right host, computers. Oops, $sign. All right, go ahead and run that line. Do you have the same results? So, dinidisplay niya kung ano yung laman ng ating notepad file. Yes. Ba, nauna na si Alex, di na si Dale. How about the others? Do you have the same results? Isn't it cool? Yes po. Ayan. Okay. So, for example, Atcha, paano kung gusto kong ipakita siya ng how it's displayed here inside the notepad? So, how you're going to do that is you're going to run it by line. And how that is done is by using the for each loop or command. So go ahead and type in for each, and then open and close parenthesis, computer. We're going to declare a variable to read each line of that for example, each line. Ibig sabihin, for each loop means i-read niya to kada line. So we're naming this as a computer instead of the computer variable instead of computers in computers. So ibig sabihin, nagsiset tayo ng variable na i-read kung ano yung each line na laman dito sa file type na to. So once that is done, nakaset na siya, inside your open and close curly braces, put in right host. So ipiprint niya yung laman per line kapag nakuha na yung data in computer. Go ahead and run it. And you have the same results. Angas daw. Ayan. Yes po. Ang galing. Very good. So, in this scenario, we're using this mga PC1, PC, pero if you're going to put it in a network perspective, these are mostly on network information, IP addresses, and with that, I think ito na yung last activity natin before we wrap up. So, because we have limited time, paunahan, get input from 10 computers, not 6, and display each computer per line. Sana ako na next mo na ibigay yun na to sa akin, please. Sabi ni Ray. Ayan, okay? Ma'am, question lang po. Go ahead, Yuan. Sa local disk. Ray. Okay, go ahead, Ray, and share your screen. Pagbigyan na si Ray, I'll stop my share screen. Ayan. Pagbigyan na natin daw si Ray. And then, yeah, after this, see. Okay, 10 computers. Ayan, loading lang. Okay. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good, Ray. Dahil dyan, meron kang GCash prize. Ayan, thank you for sharing your screen. Okay, I'll go back now. So, yun na siya. Tumatalo na siya sa, off-cam. Thank you. Ayan, okay. All right, guys. So, with that, I'll just share other examples here. But if you want a copy or you can look at this recording, ito yung mga other scripts that I'm supposed to show. Meron ding if-else na, for example, you're just gonna get a specific information. For example, a network information in that file, you can use the if-else statement. And yeah, from there, meron tayong equals PC1. If you're going to put not equals, that is -NE. Ayan. And yeah, that ends my presentation for today about automation using PowerShell. What are your thoughts about PowerShell so far? Ayan. Fast knowledge. Galing, sabi ni Ray. Very good, very nice. Grabe, new territory. B10, cool. It's robust and useful. Cool. Very good, guys. Ayan. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate your active participation. And with that, I would just like to get your feedback, or if there's anything else you need help with, I want to learn more today, can go ahead and answer this feedback form. So I would know on kung ano pa yung mga interested yung topics in the future whenever I do talks, or maybe here in FEU ACM in the future. Yeah, let me know how I did today. If there's anything else I need to improve on. I know B10, don't worry. If you want a second part of this, just let me know. Ayan. Thank you everyone for your time. And you can find out more of my tech tutorials on my socials here on YouTube, Atcha Abe, Facebook page, LinkedIn. You can connect with me professionally on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. And other than that, I also create non-tech videos. I create challenges, ganyan, and other entertainment blogs as well. And yes, my upcoming events this November is I'll be having a talk about networking then, tamang-tama, at Eastern Visayas State University, Carigara campus, this coming November 28th. My session, I believe, is at 1 p.m. So if you want to learn more about networking, the fundamentals of networking, you can go ahead and join their event as well. I hope to see you there. We also have other speakers then. Ayan, thank you again, guys, for your time. I appreciate you learning with me. I appreciate your active participation. And yeah, If you have any questions, just let me know.
Play ni ma'am kanina, okay lang din naman.
Partner.
Grabe partner, ang laki ng ngiti mo, parang nanalo ka ng Gcash ah.
May panood na ako mamaya, partner.
Ito ma'am, may
Ayan,
first
partner.
question. Ayun, dumadami na. So for the first question is, ano pong programming language yung meron sa PowerShell?
And it's a good question, Alex. I never tried to integrate any other programming languages, but I believe meron na din silang Python with PowerShell and etc. If you're with the graphical user interface of PowerShell, meron ditong add-ons. So regarding your question, you can integrate those other programming languages using PowerShell. But if your question is leaning towards kung anong programming language ba ang PowerShell, this is a scripting tool kasi. So this is tailor-fitted to PowerShell on how the computer reads these instructions. Kaya although similar siya sa mga programming language tulad ng Java and Python, this is how the computer easily understands yung mga commands tulad ng get content, yun, etc. But if you want to add more other commands or specific lines of code or parameters, you can definitely use the add-ons tab on the PowerShell ISE.
Thank you po, Ma'am Atcha. Meron po pong isa pong question from Ms. Jane. Any recommended PowerShell course online, specifically with networks application?
And it's also a good question, Jane. So with PowerShell course online, ginagamit ko kasi anything when I learn any new Microsoft applications, I go straight ahead sa documentation. Kasi if you're going to search, maraming resources with videos, ganyan, tutorials on how you can start with PowerShell courses. And if you want to get a more progressive type of learning when it comes to PowerShell, you can go ahead on their documentation. Pwede kang mag-crash course ng basics. And then if you want to do more automation specifically with networking, mas magagamit mo lahat ng features niya with the Microsoft community, PowerShell community. And ang maganda din again with PowerShell ISE is kapag tinignan mo yung commands niya, and if you're going to search network, doon mo ma-filter kung ano ba yung dapat mong mas matutunan or matutukan when it comes to creating network applications using PowerShell. So, yeah, with PowerShell, if you're if you're that type of person who wants to parang mga Coursera type of learning, ayan, Coursera with PowerShell, you can also use LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning talaga isa sa mga ginagamit ko na parang step-by-step training with mga Microsoft tools, ganyan.
Ayun, grabe, ang dami palang possible learning learning networks and course out online na pwedeng matutunan sa PowerShell or makuha. And next up is from U1. Ano po ulit yung command para ma-display yung text file? Di raw po kasi nasundan kanina.
Okay lang yan. Parang kanina, tulad nga ng sabi, hindi ko naman kung sino yung sabi, nanginginig na dahil gusto ng okay, I'll share my screen again. Ayan, how to ma-display yung text is, wait, I don't know if screen ba yung sinishare ko? Wait, let me try it again. Screen 1, okay. This one, how to do that is by, nasa na? Ito. Nasa ibang monitor pala siya. By doing this command. So first you need to, pinapahirapan ko sarili ko, Yuan, ika-copy-paste ko na lang, ayan. Okay, so yun na siya.
Ayun, we hope that answers your question, Yuan.
Ayun, next question po from our organizer po, Mia. What are the execution policies in PowerShell and how do these affect automation in PowerShell?
Sabi naman, parang feeling ko nasa Miss Universe ako sa mga tanungan nyo. Ayan, execution policies is also an interesting and good question, no? With regards to your policies, if you're asking about any restrictions or guidelines, wala naman, and how it affects automation in PowerShell, it depends. Kasi if you're going to challenge yourself more, especially with using networking, for sure with PowerShell ISE, marami kasing integrations tulad ng, a simple example is Windows Task Scheduler. If you're going to pull logs and pull network logs, parang, for example, from time to time, you want to check the network activity. If you're trying to experiment on using different networks on your computer, you can create a script using PowerShell ISE, and then you're going to connect it using Task Scheduler, Windows Task Scheduler. Ang ginagawa niya is, siya lang yung nag-run ng script, niraran niya. It's either daily, depende sa how frequent you're going to run that script. That's where automation comes in to check your network logs. And then from there, instead of you doing it manually, nakikita mo na agad, it shows a report na agad on your text file. Kung meron bang mga problems or may bagal ba yung network, hindi ba siya nakakonect sa private or public network. So regarding your question for any policies or like any restrictions, it depends also on the other tool that you are using with PowerShell. I believe there are different execution policies if you're going to use different types of APIs or add-ons or tools with it. So it depends.
Yun, thank you so much for that answer and hopefully nasagot ang tanungan ni Ate Pia. Next up is a question from Kyle Bryan. Is PowerShell's logic or code usable into something like MS Power Automate, which I'm currently interested in and trying to look into as my company uses it?
Yeah, that's also a good question, Kyle. Yes, gumagamit din ako ng Power Automate and Power Apps. And guys, gamit na gamit talaga siya sa industry and sa work. And this is something na hindi tinuturo sa school. Kaya kung gusto niyo matuto ng Power Apps and Power Automate, go to my YouTube channel. Panoorin natin. Nag-promote na yun, no? Pero yeah, I have a tutorial about that. And definitely, PowerShell's logic or code, I can say that it's different with Power Automate kasi with Power Automate, it's more visually represented. The only thing that you're going to interact more with its syntax is if you're doing specific lines of code. Kasi before I created an application using MS Power Apps and Power Automate, gumawa din ako ng app wherein finifill out ni user yung form and with Power Automate, ang ginawa ko is kino-convert niya to PDF. So, hindi ko na siya kailangan manually ilagay. Pag na-answer ni user yung form, automatic nagiging PDF siya. Meron lang akong template na nilagay. So, ang maganda doon, nung nagsisimula pa lang ako aralin yun, is comparing it to PowerShell's logic, medyo mas efficient, so to speak, yung paggamit ng Power Automate. Kasi the purpose of Power Automate with Power Apps din and Power BI is for users na non-technical people to use it easily. And if you're going to incorporate PowerShell's logic, ano na siya, more on scripting part na siya. If you want it to tailor fit it based dun sa requirements ng company nyo or how you use it. So, yeah.
Ayun, thank you for that very amazing answer. If there are more questions, just chat it in the chat box down below. Ayun, mukhang wala nang nagtatanong, ma'am. Sobrang linaw na mga answer na binigay nyo. Mukhang lahat clear na. And maraming salamat din sa mga participants natin na nagbigay ng tanong nila. And I think with that, we are going to end the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, Ms. Atcha. Now to express our appreciation for giving us your time today, we would like to present you a certificate of appreciation. Allow me to read the citation of the certificate. This certificate of appreciation is hereby given to Miss Athena Abe in grateful acknowledgement and sincere appreciation for imparting valuable insights and knowledge as a workshop instructor for interconnectivity and networking convention. Given the 17th day of November 2022 via Zoom video conference, designed by Maria Evangelica Lindy Ong, Project Head of Interconnectivity, Mika Sophia Chutan, the President of FEU ACM, Mr. Abraham T. Magpanday, the Advisor of FEU ACM, Dr. Shanette C. Ambat, Program Director of Computer Science of FEU and Dr. Remelia A. Cabreros, the Senior Director for Academic Services of FEU.
And thank you for having me.
And we would like to thank you again so much, Miss Atcha.